Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Money Mindset Mentors. We are so excited to be with you today. And today we are going to be talking about all things starting your own business. Have you been there where you feel like, oh, I feel a rumble, I feel something is coming, and now I have to step? And that scary part of stepping, you guys, I am right there with you. If this is you, I am with you. I just 3 weeks ago submitted my resignation letter to my comfortable job, which and why I say it's comfortable is because I don't even have to think about what's coming my way as far as financial goes, right? I go to work, I get a paycheck. I go to work, I get a paycheck. And then all of a sudden I started feeling that stretch point and that, there's something else. There's something else in my soul that you have got to grow and you've got to do. And I finally did it. I went, okay, it's time for me to grow my tutoring business. I've got to grow this in a different way. And so I submitted my resignation letter and stepped out on my own. And I know that I am in good company because I know that both of these ladies on here today has been right there with me. And we are going to talk about that, stepping out and doing the business. We're going to go ahead and start with Rachel.
Hey, well, congratulations, Amanda. It's a huge step and so excited for you. So it's awesome.
Thanks.
So, okay. So this past year, well, kind of back up a little bit. I've kind of always been an entrepreneur type, whatever. But this past year, we really jumped headfirst into owning our own businesses. And we had decided, most of you or some of you might know that the latest craze hitting the U.S., which is the specialty sodas coming out of specifically Utah. And so we decided that we love them and wanted to open some in Texas. And so we went into business with some family members and decided that we were going to take that plunge. And we got ready, got our broker, got everything. And you guys, it's like Amanda, it's like scary. It's so scary to kind of make that commitment because I've never opened anything brick and mortar before. And so where do you start? Like, oh my goodness, like all these different pieces. For us, we decided to franchise just because we thought that we would be able to use them, right, as our outline, and they would be able to help us, which they did. The funny thing is, though, when you're a franchisee, you still have a lot of things to do on your own. So opening these things is still something that you have to be prepared to get out of your comfort zone, like really out of your comfort zone, right? And keep moving forward, even when things are not going the way that you want them to go. So anyway, we decided that we were going to do this. And as of February of this year, so 2023, we opened our first store in San Antonio. And so I'm just going to tell you how long it took to get to that place. So in August of 2021, we signed our franchise papers with Fizz. And then trying to find a drive-through location, trying to find just all the pieces to go with it, we finally were able to find a location in March of 2022. So it was like 6 months before we were even able to find a place, you guys, like crazy. Then with, working with the city officials and things of that nature, it took another almost year to get that open. Most of the times it shouldn't take that long. And we can go into details like at a later date, but there were a lot of bumps in the road. Like the reason it took so long to get that first one open, we had a contractor that probably wasn't the best fit for us and really did some not so great things. So making sure, this is just advice, but making sure that your contractor that you have, you definitely want to see the projects that they have, talk to people that they work for. Are they paying, those type of things. But anyway, it took us a long time to get that first location open. We're going to back up just a teeny bit because remember I said we decided we were going to open these Fizzes. And interestingly, in last May, so a year ago this month, we have a good friend here in San Antonio that had decided that they were going to sell their cookie business, and it's called the Texas Cookie Shop. And my daughter Emma was managing it at that point. And I never, first of all, you guys, I never thought we'd own soda shops or cookie shops. Just never, like never. But my daughter called me and she was like, hey, this is what's happening. And I was like, oh, perfect timing. Like, we'll be able to get fizzes running up, because I thought she's going to not have a job anymore. Like, she'll not be manager of the cookie shop. And then her full time can like be working on these fizzes, right? Getting the fizzes up and running. Anyway, then she talked to my husband, and my husband was like, we cannot let the cookie shop go. We have to buy the cookie shop. And I was like, oh my goodness. Okay. So within a month, we had purchased a cookie shop. I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing that unless you have someone that already is on the ground, knows how to run it, like my daughter did. So I could kind of step in. She showed me the role, all that kind of stuff. Then 2 weeks after that, we were approached by a Fizz franchisee in Houston who had a family emergency and needed to sell their shop. And so we decided, okay, we're going to jump in and purchase that Fizz. So fast forward another month. So this is now July of 2022. We purchased our first Fizz that was already open. So within 2 months, we had a cookie shop that we were running and then a Fizz shop. So that's so to date, that's where we are. We've got a cookie shop that's independent, that's not a franchise. Then we have our Houston Fizz drinks, and then we've got 2 in San Antonio. So that's where we're at. So let me know if you have any questions, ladies.
That is amazing. One thing that I keep thinking about is you said you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone. And that is like, if you can no longer see your comfort zone, you're on the right track, right?
Yeah, yeah.
For sure.
And I love that you had said bumps in the road. Ladies, we need to expect bumps in the road. And the other thing that I wrote down as you were talking about this is finding people who are already doing it. Finding somebody, I love that you said your daughter she already knew how to run the cookie shop. So you could go to her and you could talk to her, and finding those people that are already doing the thing that you want to do. Amy, did you have something to add?
No, I mean, I do, but that, like, I'll go off on a tangent, so I'll talk about it when I go.
Okay, so amazing. I love knowing that I'm not walking this journey alone. Even though our businesses may look very different, there are bumps in the road, and it really is stepping outside of what is very, very comfortable and realizing that growth doesn't come from comfort. It grows from that stretching. It grows from that walking so far away from your comfort zone that you can no longer see it.
Yeah. So one thing when you're talking about growth and like stepping outside your comfort zone, like this is probably just me. I'm sure nobody else gets like ugly like this, but like I know when I'm growing because I have like meltdowns, like, and it's, I don't know. I'm like, okay, when I'm in this position, when I can feel myself going there, I'm like, I need to go through this. I need to let this happen, because I know that once maybe I'm recognizing it, maybe I'm coming to terms with how difficult something is. I don't know what it is, but I allow myself to feel like all that crazy. And then I'm like, okay, now I can go back to the basics and like, okay, what is it that I know? And how can I, continue to grow? It's like a weird thing. I don't know.
No, I love that. And I'm right there with you. I know when I'm getting to grow, because it's like full circle. Here's where I'm at. I don't know if you can see me. Here's where I'm at. And then it's like, okay, I'll talk to myself. And then pretty soon I'm right here. And my husband will say to me over and over, the writing is on the wall. The door has been not only opened, but the ducks are all lined up for you. You just have to step. And I'm back here at square one. I have this idea. And what do you think? We've been 1,000 times. Like he even told me, he goes, I love you, but you exhaust me. Like, why are we here again? And it's my growing cycle. It is me stepping away from, I will go and go and go. And then I'll be like, wait, where's my comfort zone? Where is it? Shoot, I can't see it. I got to go back just a little bit more because I don't know if I'm ready to take the big step away. And yeah, so for me, it was putting in actually submitting my resignation letter was me now saying, like, I don't even think about that comfort zone anymore. I have now stepped completely away from it. I had to do that step. So crazy.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. How about you, Amy?
So for me, I think we're all in like a really similar state. It sounds like, and we were talking offline there for a few minutes, but for me, I'm certainly getting pretty far away from that comfort zone. And I feel like wonderful to have friends who surround you that are they're either going through the same thing or they know how to kind of just support you and push you. It sounds like your husband knows, hey, you're like, go, go, go. You know what I mean? My husband is the same, super supportive, just like that. So for me, I am opening my own brokerage. So I just got my broker's license and have partnered with Keller Williams, and I'm going to be opening a branch office here in Lehigh. And so the focus of that began with needing a space for my team. So for the property management side, I have 5 employees right now, and we run about 350 doors for property management. And there was just no space for them in my current, the brokerage that I had. They had a lovely office at downtown Provo, and my girls didn't have any space there, and there was one desk for all of us to share, and it just didn't really fit anymore, and it was super difficult. That journey for me started with thinking, okay, there's no space for me here, I'll just buy a building, right? Like, I'm an investor, I own a bunch of properties, I'll just purchase a building. And that morphed into why am I there? Wait a second. Like, if I'm going to own my own building and I have all this, like, my own stuff, like, do I really need to be there? Is that office offering me enough value to stay anymore? And that was a super difficult choice for me to make, because I had worked with those people. I've worked with those people for 7 years. So I've been a real estate agent for 8, and I worked with those people for the majority of this portion of my spot where I'm at in my career. So it was a really difficult thing for me to feel like, man, it just doesn't fit anymore. It's very difficult to make that realization. And so at that point, I just knew, and started my broker's license late January, sat for my test in mid-March, passed that. And if you can believe it, there was more work. It's been more work after I got my broker's license to get all this stuff, get going and get set up. But I totally agree with you both. Just there's so many bumps in the road. So I feel like we've hit, there's a lot of requirements for the division that you have to meet and maintain. Everything has to be just so for trust accounts and things that have to be set up for holding and moving people's money. And so it's very difficult, and you learn more, than you think through those times. But I truly feel like, and it's panic, right? It's not panic. It's like a very, for me, it's like, I feel it in my heart and in my gut, to where I just know that it's going to get better. You know what I mean? Like, it's very, very difficult. You do those, like, I cry, you know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. Why am I even doing this? And then you just know that kind of like, I'm just to a point where I kind of feel like I'm getting back to a spot where I can see straight. And that you kind of have, like, you have this list of things that are pages long to do for months, you know what I mean? And it's just so, to be a really productive person and to only get like so many of those marked off every day is difficult. So I'm just barely getting to a spot where I'm like, oh my gosh, I only have 14 items on my list to do today. You know what I mean? Is totally different. So So I appreciate you ladies. Like, I love your stories. It's inspiring to me to have people like you around me. Amanda, I think you're gonna do amazing. And Rachel, I know you already, like, I think you're awesome. You already are doing amazing. The cookie stores. So I'm super happy to be surrounded by you guys and be able to do this and hopefully turn around and inspire other people who have hopes and dreams. You know what I mean? To do even just those small steps. Take those small steps forward. And if you don't know what those steps look like, to reach out to people, you know what I mean, that you would be able to have say, oh yeah, well, here's some clarity, here's some direction, here's maybe what you want to start with. So
Yeah.
You know, so many things from that, you ladies. This is so juicy and so good. I love it. One of the things that stood out to me was when you had talked about just looking, right? That a thought that came to me was look for the opportunity. There is opportunity all around us. What is it that inside of you, if you are aspiring to do this, if you are inspiring to start your own business, to go out, look for those opportunities. Look for the thing that lights you on fire. Like what I'm about to step out and do, I am so passionate about it. It lights me on fire. I honestly can say I don't think I will ever work a day in my life after this, even though I will work. But because that work will be so life fulfilling for me, it is going to be this just amazing opportunity for me to step into and looking for that. And I love too knowing that the nights that I wake up in that sheer panic of like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do this. That I'm not waking up alone, you guys. There are other people out there doing the same thing because it is those growing points. It is that stretching you. And you have to do that. You have to. If everybody knew the outcome, everybody would be doing it. It's we make that outcome. We have to take that first step so that we can create that. It's the life we want. It's creating what we want. And that is where abundance comes in so much, because why would we limit ourselves? I love that you said, I wrote it down because it's so good. I wrote it down. Have you outgrown your office? Right? I wrote that down. Like, have you outgrown your office? And when you said that, I could relate because I can remember talking with my supervisor and she said, Amanda, like, what is it money? Do you need more money? Like, what can we do to get you to stay? And that was what I said to her. I said, you know what? I feel like I have outgrown what you can offer me as far as I need to be. I need to be more. I need to be, there's so much more I can do. And I'm already there's not much more other than your job. There's not much more I could do at this company. I want your job. Like, I don't want your job. It's not life fulfilling to me. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sometimes it's a difficult realization to come to, especially when you're surrounded by people. Like, I was surrounded by people who were very successful, right? Most of the agents in my office make $1 million a year or more. So it's difficult to look around and say, this is no longer the right place for me. You know what I mean? It's very difficult to see that. And you're inspired by those people. I hold like a lot of respect for what the people in my office do and what they did and like what they'll continue to do. It just was not quite the right fit for me anymore. And that is a difficult thing to realize, especially you, like Amanda too. You probably like have a lot of history with those people. You care about them. They're like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're working with them daily on a daily basis, you have deep connections with people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have to say, like, when I submitted my resignation letter and I was so excited about it, and I'm like you, Amy, it's my feel for me. Like, ooh, I'm feeling this and it's discontent and I know something's coming and something has to change. And then I open up to that, like, what is it? And I explore that feeling. Why is it showing up? Oh, here's an opportunity. I go through all of those emotions. And when I finally did that and I finally submitted, guys, 2 hours after my letter hit my boss's desk, my job was posted. I seriously sat there. Yes, I felt how I felt. I felt like, oh, have I been in a bad relationship that I knew I needed to leave?
Oh,
Oh my goodness. Ah,
Darn it. But you're
great.
like, oh
Yeah.
shoot, I'm not like I'm easily that replaced. Like,
Yeah. Mhm.
oh man.
Not
Yeah.
even a phone call before it got posted. Not even like a, I'm sorry you're leaving.
Yeah. Or let's do a party or something or that. Oh man.
Oh, but then when I stopped and I was like, okay, wait a minute. This is right. And I'm not going to go back because now I'm looking back at that comfort zone, right? I'm seeing how fast I was replaceable. But then I went, no, that is transactional. That is a business.
Yeah.
That is it. I know they hated to lose me because she told me that prior, right? She had said to me, I don't know how I'll replace you. However, at the end of the day, she has to replace me. That's that spot, that's that void. And so it also allowed me to turn around now and look at it from a position that I'm stepping into now with the business, right? And allowing me to see that other side to it as well. And that it did need to post, but it was a little hard for me at first. I'm telling you what, because I knew I couldn't go back to comfort.
Yeah. It's way hard. I could see that being extremely hard. I felt the same way. Like I sent an email to my office and was just like, like, I love you guys. It's like a little bit, just doesn't fit anymore. I'm super happy to continue to collaborate, and didn't get much response back. You know what I mean? So
Oh man.
kind of that same thing, kind of that same thing, feeling darn, maybe I should have been gone, a few years ago. So.
Well, and Amanda, like you say, it's all, it's business. It's business. And even, Amy, even for you, it's not like they don't care and, that you didn't, contribute a lot, but it just is, it's just transactional. And so taking those emotions and making sure that when you're making these decisions that you recognize that, okay, emotion is going to come. You're going to feel this way. It's just what it is, but you have to move forward with, your dreams and your desires and what is right ultimately.
Yeah. And I have to say, since that moment, I have had more opportunity to tell people what I am doing than I ever did before, because now people are saying, oh, I heard you resigned. What is it that you're like, why? And it opens up the door for me to say, I need to grow my business. I've started it. Yeah. I've had it for 10 years. It's time to grow. And it's just allowed this whole opportunity for it to just, for it to grow. I needed to do this, So it's awesome. Good. I know it's the best thing that I've ever done. And I'm going to one day look back and say, oh, I can't imagine my life without that scary step. But while you are in the scary step, it is a real scary step. And it's okay to be in that scary step. My advice would be, just don't stay there. Just don't stay there. And that brings me, do you guys have anything else that you want to add before I add like what my takeaways were? And then I would love to hear each of your takeaways.
You start.
Okay. So my takeaways were, I wrote down, look for the opportunity, talk to somebody who is already doing it because they know what bumps are in the road, step away from the comfort zone, find your people to help you, and then ask the question when you start feeling that rumble, have I outgrown this? Have I outgrown my office? Those were my takeaways.
I think you hit them all. I think
I know, that's what I'm thinking.
For all of them. You got it.
Left, Amanda.
Yeah. You did it.
I do, like, really quickly though, like I loved what Amy said about, and Amanda, you said, have I outgrown the office? Or my office. That is so true, because like maybe you don't know what it is that you're looking for, but when you decide to take steps and to look for a bigger office, then all these ideas, and like Amy said, like, what do I really need? Do I really need that support behind me? And look at her now. Like, it's amazing what she's doing. So I love that statement too.
Oh, I love that. I had something that I read a little while back when I was probably just in the midst of, you still have those emotions, right? Like the little bit of sadness, and you're not sure, if this is the right best move. Again, for me too, it was deciding if I'm going to do it my own brokerage or partner with a brand. Those were difficult questions, but initiating some of that, I read a quote or just some questions that I had read through. And one of those was, how happy is my heart? Are there rules or boundaries that I want to shake, like break? Like, are there things right now in my life that have to do with where I'm at that I want to break or push, or are there restrictions that I'm feeling like are bearing down on me? And then kind of just feeling a little bit into your body and your thoughts and kind of really saying, okay, am I scared? Am I not doing this because I'm scared? Is this something that's holding me back because of, you know, some of these other feelings that I have? And then feeling into what I wanted to do more of. You know what I mean? Like, what do I actually want to do more of? What are those things that actually bring, you know, my mind peace? And like you said, Amanda, very clearly, like, I know that I'm not going to work. You know what I mean? I feel that way about real estate. Real estate is so fun for me. I think that when you find that something, you can feel that. So I think that's probably my contributions, was just kind of like pay attention to your heart and your mind and where they want you to be. So
Yeah. Thank you, ladies, so much. And for all of you listening, we would love to hear from you. Please post any questions that you have, if you have thoughts, if you're in the same space and you're like, oh yeah, we are right there. We can no longer see the comfort zone, or we are feeling the rumbles of, maybe we're outgrowing our office. We would love to hear from you. Let's help each other on our journeys as we are becoming what we are meant to be, and have joy in that moment. That is going to be amazing. We'd love to hear from you. So go ahead and post below. Thank you, ladies, for meeting with me, and we will see you guys next time.